Schopfield music. Whee!
Hey, today it's Christmas time again here at Schopfield North Studios.
How about I fix that? It's Happy St. Patrick's Day.
That is correct, very good. But when we put this on the actual channel, it probably won't be Happy St. Patty's Day.
Happy Easter present.
I have the Pete Thorne signature guitar, which I do need to do a review on, and I think that's going to happen here real soon. I am going to be installing the new Wilkinson locking bridge that finally came. I've been talking with Tristan up at SIR, and from what I understand, I guess they only sent out a few of them of the people that were asking for them, so they're hoping to get a little feedback on it. So let's unbox this thing and show everybody this. And that's just the shipping. So this is the Bridge Tremolo Wilkinson Locking Saddles, Chrome. Wilkinson Locking Tremolo Bridge WVS 130CR. I ordered this straight through SIR Guitars, which is JS Technologies Incorporated. I dealt with Tristan up there, so if you wanted to get a hold of them and ask for them, that's who you need to get a hold of. What have you got there?
We have these.
Alright, so it comes with a couple Allen keys.
Allen keys.
Jack, you want to walk up to the camera and show them that for me? Got the Allen keys too. You and your mic drops. That is the whammy bar. Yep, not too close. You gotta get it in film there. There you go. Back up a little bit, Jack.
Bridge.
There, that way you can see. You don't have to be that close to it.
It's a bridge.
That's right, that's the bridge. And then here's the Allen keys. You want to show that in front of the camera for me? Okay.
Perfect, nice Allen key. Perfect for tooling or whatever.
This is the
Thank you.
bridge that goes on a guitar.
Show them the back side so they can see the weight on the back there.
Pretty heavy, pretty decent.
Feels pretty heavy, doesn't it?
Yes. My arm's gonna get tired. And right here,
Then give them a real
right here is where the whammy bar
slow
is.
motion shot of the front there. There you go. There they can see the little locking screws on there. Right on top of the bridges are the locking screws that you lock the strings down with. So I'll be anxious to see how this does. Not that the bridge that's in there right now is bad, but I thought it would be nice to have one that would actually have the locking bridge on there. Similar to a Floyd, but I guess you don't have to cut the ball ends of the string off. So now we've got locking tuners on it and the locking bridge. So.
And this is where the whammy bar would go.
Yep, right here.
The whammy bar.
Whammy wham.
I want to just like twist it.
Push it in and then twist it a little bit.
Ooh.
Just a few times.
Yeah, me too.
That is cool. There you go. Woo.
A bit of a review on the Pete Thorne Signature Gold Top that I own and have had now for a few months. So far it is one of my favorite guitars, and like Pete Thorne says, it is very versatile. So the setup for the Pete Thorne Signature Wilkinson Bridge. Here you see I'm just unwrapping it right now. And I've got this other Fender style guitar sitting right next to it because I set that up the same way I wanted to set the Pete Thorne up, which is the Carl Verheyen setup, I guess, if you will. LSL kind of signaturized that one, I think, with their CV special. I ended up buying one of those, and I love the setup on it. Carl goes into... He goes in deep with the way he matches the spring tension to the string tension, and you'll see here as we go into this setup how I will take and it's a lot of tune, adjust the back screws on the spring tension, tune back to the spring tension. there's a lot of variables at stake, and here I'm taking off all the strings. You can see all that. And what I wanted to do was, you know, here in the beginning, start with a good number to start with. If you want a floating trem, you know, and that's where I'll take a full note. So I always test it with the B string on the 2nd fret, and that comes up as a C sharp. And then when you pull the whammy bar up all the way, it should be a D sharp. So you can hear it that way. Well, here, I don't know if try it this way. And you can see it goes a full note up, C sharp to D sharp, before it bottoms out on the bridge. I ran into a problem here installing this bridge, that nut that is holding the whammy bar down. It seemed like the point of the nut was turned just enough that it was just hitting that wood. So I went over to my other workbench and just twisted it so that the flat part of the nut was running parallel with the wood, and it cleared it no problem. Of course, that's what you're hearing right now. So, and I start off here by checking the radius of the fretboard, because I want to match that just as a starting point with the saddles down there. So just I wanted to kind of have a reference point for the setup on everything. So it wasn't exact, it wasn't perfect. What I like to do is get it close and then work into each one, fine-tuning it as I go further and further. And of course, for this full setup, I'd never worked with a locking bridge before, so this was all new. And I thought that you probably don't want to tighten your screws down that lock the string down to the bridge until you're completely done and you have it staying in tune, intonated properly, and the spring tension matches the string tension. So that's why I took those off. But yeah, so I'm going to string this up and get it close, and then I can actually start getting the spring tension and string tension where it needs to be. But yeah, as I was saying with the bridge, a good starting point is about an 1/8 inch all the way around. I check it in 4 spots, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and you'll see later on here when we get into that. But till then, let me show you, or let me have you listen to this. And of course, it's done right now. I'm doing a talk over. So I'm playing the Pete Thorn signature guitar with the Wilkinson bridge installed already through a Marshall Marshall SV20 head, which is routed into my aux, and I'm using the 4x12 greenback 25 punch selection. All stock settings on the aux, and I plugged in the compressor. Just seemed to sound pretty good. So here, let's check the tuning here. So okay, so each string is tuned. Now here's a D chord. I'm playing on the neck pickup, which is single coil. That's how Pete Thorn Signature's guitar is set up, where if I flip the 5-way switch all the way up, it would be a single coil. One down would be a humbucker. Here's a humbucker D. Here's a single coil. Okay. Here's a C. Here's a G. Here's a barred A minor. Here's a barred G. Barred F. C sharp minor. Alright, and now of course here I'm checking the radius of the strings now after I got it close. Now I'm going to dial in the strings a little bit tighter here. But so on to the whammy here. I'll give you some sounds. We'll do a complete dive bomb and see how this holds true. So here's E, B, G, B, A, and E. All pretty close. I'm going to do a complete dive bomb. Let's see what this does. Okay, here is E, B, G, D, A, E. Okay, so it sounds pretty good. I don't think everything stayed really in tune. The biggest thing is making sure those screws are nice and snug on the saddles once you dial everything in. So here you can see I'm taking the measurements on those 4 sides I was telling you about of the bridge, and I'm looking for that 1/8 inch, which is roughly going to give me the movement I want for my setup. Everybody's is different, of course. I can set your guitar up to whatever you'd like too, if you want, how big a whammy drops you guys want to do. Never thought about that, but you guys, anybody out there, YouTube land, I guess, message me if you're interested in a guitar setup. I know I'm over here in Michigan, but you could always ship it to me and then I could ship it back. I do have a store on reverb.com. Just started selling on Facebook here too. I've always done Craigslist, but kind of shying away from that area. But yeah, so back and forth, there's going to be a lot of check the tuning, check the spring tension. Here we go. I'm checking the 4 spots on the bridge. I want an 1/8 inch front and back on both sides, and then back and forth, back and forth. It's a lot of that, but it does end up getting it nice and perfect. And then one thing I like to mention is that take your after you've set it up, let it set overnight and come back and check it. I did that too. So, well, while that's going on, it's going to take a second. Here's a little looper I did some jamming on. So yeah, I want to let you guys know I'm actually I'm going to overemphasize the whammy bar just to really play this thing and kind of beat it up a little bit, if you will. So bear with me here. So here you'll see what I'm doing is lining it up dead on for my setup. I like 3/64ths off the 12th fret from the bottom of the string to the top of the 12th fret. And so I can adjust the saddles exactly to the radius of the fretboard by doing this. And then I will get it 3/64ths all the way up until the A string or E string, depending on the guitar too. A lot of Strat style guitars, I usually have to get the A and the E string at least a 16th. But I do like a lower action. And my buddy Napoleon, name drop, he likes his action a lot higher than I do. And for me, I find it tough doing leads and whatnot. But everybody has their own playing style, certainly. I like to play on different style setups too, because it's kind of neat to learn a different way at things. But yeah, so just measuring the 12th fret, bottom of the string to the top of the fret, and getting those dialed in exactly. You'll see, I don't know where I'm at. There we are. Yeah, it's just a process, going back and forth, double checking, and getting it set up just right. So far, I've been real happy with this. I think it's held up nicely. I think this would do real well in a gigging situation for somebody who's looking for a floating trem that has the ability to stay in tune. Because not only do you have the locking saddles now, but of course the guitar comes with locking tuners. They're Sir locking tuners. And I know this guitar, a lot of people say these Sir guitars are surgical. They are right about that. But there is some kind of beauty to that. It's just a real easy playing instrument. And nailed the vintage sounds that I really like, which those are Pete Thorne's pickups. They're very low output pickup. So yeah, let's go back to this looper here. Yeah, the guitar sounds so nice, I forget to mess with the whammy bar. Yeah, I'm just messing with something I don't even know what I'm messing with. I just love that tone. So right here I'm doing the intonation part. You can see that, again, it's a lot of pluck the string, look at the turning wheel, pluck the string, look at the turning wheel, and now I'm playing it. So I guess we're getting close to the end here. And double checking all the measurements. I did some whammy drops. I tried to stretch the strings out some more because they were new strings. I went with Ernie Ball 10s. My B and G came with those strings on there, and I was using currently the Gibson Pure Vintage Nickels. I think they were pretty cheap too, so I liked them. But they would die pretty quick, and they weren't as bright. And I switched over to the Ernie Balls, and yeah, I haven't looked back. I like 10s on everything. Except that Carl Verheyen guitar, it's got a weird string gauge thing going on. I think it was a 9. There's a 9 on the high E, which yeah, plays really well on that guitar. I wouldn't put a 9 on any of my other guitars, but that particular guitar plays quite well. Just really like the 10s. So yeah, doing the measurements again, playing it. Wait till you see my little mini Fender amp. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there it is, about an 1/8 inch off the deck. It's great for whammy ups and whammy downs, and spring tension has matched the string tension. I think I said spring tension match the string tension. Yeah, and when I was doing the intonating, my screwdriver will tend to slip a little bit sometimes, and I don't like how it gets a little bit of sharp edges there, so I filed the edges nice and smooth, and of course that takes some of the paint off the screws, and touch it up with a little black acrylic paint, and it looks all brand new again. I'm pretty picky about that kind of stuff, all the little fine details. I like doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyways, getting close to the... There's my little mini Fender amp, my guitar tester amp. I love that thing. I actually took the tweed off, and one of them I did nitrocellulose finish on, and the other one I did a shellac just to see the difference in the aging process. Yay!
For the extra, our goal is to get to 30 likes for this video.
30 likes, that's
so
it.
So please like down below and subscribe, smash the bell so we get all your notifications and we can see your texts.
From all of us at Schopfield Music, folks. Cheers!
Yeah!